Hey guys, another video for our nature and environment in Japan playlist. Some of you would have seen the videos we've taken from the ground and from the air showing some of these huge solar farms that we see around Japan. Also smaller ones as well. Sometimes they'll take one rice field and turn it into a little solar farm. So all sorts of different sizes, and then of course Japan has one of the biggest uptakes of solar panels on domestic residences as well. So very common. Most new houses in Japan have solar panels on the roof. So very common. So we wanted to do it too because we know it's good for the environment, and Japan had been pretty generous with the buyback tariff thing, so your feed-in tariff when you produce power yourself. So we wanted to do the math, so we went and did some research. We had a look at lots of different systems. The home centers have solar systems available. The electrical stores do. There's companies that specialize in it. It's a huge business in Japan and has been for a few years. We're forever seeing big new farms appearing all over the place, big new solar farms. They're also into wind as well, but today's topic is the solar. So we looked at it, worked it all out, did all the math, and then got hold of one of the companies, local companies, to come and work it out. Oh yeah, first we got the unskilled labourer, part of the math process, because we've got a lot of roof. Those of you who've followed the farmhouse videos know that we have a lot of roof, so we got this unskilled dude with a stick to work out how much surface area we had facing south, and it was a lot, because as you know we've got 4 old buildings there and a lot of roof area. That one's tin, as you know, but the rest are all this tile. So the dude from the solar panel company got up on the roof. These old roofs, as we've shown you, have the heavy tile, and then they have mud underneath that sits on top of wood frame. So what happened was he came and looked at it, worked it out, and he talked to the salesman, and the salesman came back and sucked through his teeth and tilted his head and sucked through his teeth, and it's very difficult. Quite often in situations like this they behave like they've never seen it before, but in actual fact most of the old houses are made exactly the same way. But they always behave like it's a big unknown mystery thing. It's that old roof, it's very difficult to put the panels on. So the bottom line was that the cost of doing the solar panels was about $10,000, and the amount that we'd get back, because the feed-in tariff used to be quite generous, but the government reduced it, and their plan was by reducing it that it would bring down the cost of electricity for the consumer, for the normal people, which it does, and it makes our electricity a little bit cheaper. But then for the domestic market, that makes the math not add up. So when we did the math, we worked out that to get back the $10,000 that we put in would take over 10 years, and the expected life of the solar panels was less than 10 years. So the bottom line was that it was going to cost us more money to produce, to install the solar panels and use the solar panels than it would cost us just to continue on just getting our electricity off the grid. So for families like ours that sort of live close to the edge all the time as far as paying the bills and money's concerned, we just couldn't do it. We wanted to do it because we know it's good for the environment, but it just doesn't add up anymore. Since they reduced that tariff, with an old house like that, it doesn't add up. Maybe the new house is different. They build it in when they build the house, but at the moment, for an existing house, it just doesn't add up, so sadly. So anyway, there it was. Those of you who are thinking about buying an old house in Japan might find the same thing when you do the math. It might change in the future, but in the meantime, you might find it just doesn't add up. Anyway, there it was. More videos coming soon.